morning, good evening, good day, depending on where you're watching us from. I can see some people live today, and apologies. We are running slightly out of schedule. We plan to start this at exactly 4:30 my time, which is Abby's 6:30 p.m. But sadly, school run did not go according to plan, and that means that we are running slightly our outside schedule, or yeah, we're a bit late, but really sorry for those who've been waiting and those who've waited and given up. So sorry that you had to go before time, but we are so grateful and so blessed to be here tonight. So we are going to go straight into it. I'm really privileged to have one of the amazing women that I've ever had the opportunity to do life with. It's not been like 1 or 2 years or 3 days. I'll be even privileged if it was 1 or 2 or 3 days, but it has actually been years and years and decades of doing life together. And this person is not a stranger on this channel. She has been here before. We've done life together, we've done challenges together, and we've been doing another challenge together. And so today we just thought we'll come live to kind of share what we've been doing together so that we can be able to celebrate the goodness of God through our lives. And so it gives me an opportunity to be able to introduce my dear sister and lovely guest, Abby. I'll give the floor to you to do a little bit of introduction and then kick us out from there.
Hi, Claire. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm so grateful. And as you said, it's been, and we have shared before that events of life separated us, but then by God's grace, we came back together. And it's been such a joy doing these collaborations with you. You being the nutritionist, me, the life coach. It's been such a joy. So my name is Abby. Coach Blessed Abby is the name I go by online. And I am grateful that we've been doing this challenge together. I am a life coach, a certified life coach. I focus on mindset and holistic wellness. Holistic wellness is the thing for me. So that's what I do. I work with people who want to improve their lives, to unleash their potential, to be the people God called them to be. I say that I help people to move from ordinary to extraordinary. So that's the line that I love to use. So thank you so much, Claire. I just love being here today.
Awesome. So I don't even know where we'll start from, because Abby and myself, as I said, we have been really on this journey for a long time. And for those who are new on this channel, my name is Claire, as Abby has said, or as I already said before. And I have the opportunity and the privilege of being the founder of Food and Total Wellness, where I basically believe that we have been given the mandate to prosper and be in good health, even as our souls prosper. And that's the reason why Abby and I do a lot of things together, because there's a crossover. I believe you can't be physically well. I read an article someday that was saying you can drink your water, you can eat your vegetables, you can exercise, but if you're not well in your mind, you're not well at all. And I love that so much. One thing I love so much about Abby is that she's really into mindset. She's a really kind of triggering news sometimes. And I remember sometimes last year, I've openly mentioned about it wasn't one of the best years so far, but God uses all things together for good. And I remember just when I called Abby and I was like, Abby, life is happening. She would just have the positivity, and she'll just be like, Claire, you'll be fine. And I'm like, I started talking, and she's like, no, watch your language. No, you're not going to say that. That's a negative. And I was like, Abby, leave me alone. You have no idea what's happening to me. Do you want to talk a little bit about mindset, Abby?
Yeah, when things are happening in our lives, our brains have a way of just focusing on the bad thing. Our brains don't have, the capacity to focus on both the positive and the negative at the same time. So you will hear, like, if it's a wife and a husband, spouses, The day they are happy, they are on holiday, they are on honeymoon, everything is so good. So everything about this other person is so, so good. But then the next minute, just something, happens, and you would wonder, is it the same person? So mad, so angry, and that is how we are created. The brain
Mm,
only focuses on one thing, either the positive or the negative. And
mm,
sometimes now, as we were talking then, it's a matter of choice. It's a matter of telling your brain, mm, we are not going to go that way.
mm,
We are taking this direction. And that is something I have learned over the years now, because I used to be a very negative person. I don't know if I've mentioned it on this channel, but
mm.
I used to be this person who could just sit down and crash a city in a minute,
Wow.
I would just see everything negative, sit down and see how I'm going to beat somebody. And I wouldn't do it, but I'm building it in my head. And so I realized everything in our lives is just all about our minds, what we
Mm,
think, what we imagine, what we allow ourselves to feed on in our minds. And so for
mm,
me, mindset is so, so important, that what you feed your mind on is something that you really have to be keen about.
mm. Wow, awesome. And
Yeah,
I had somebody chatting, saying, great topic, watching and getting much illuminated. Stephen, thank you so much for that. That's amazing.
that's
If you are like
that's my
Stephen,
brother.
is he? Oh, wow,
That,
brother. Hello,
yeah,
brother. That's the
yes,
extended family. It's amazing to see
yes.
you guys. So, if you want to chat, put anything in the chat. If you have any questions, by the way,
Mhm.
for Abby, she is a life coach, and myself, I benefited from her talking to me through, as I said, when life happens. And if you have any questions and if you're live today, drop them in the chat. Abby will be more than willing and happy to answer them. And if there's anything related to nutrition, I might be able
Yeah,
as well to answer them. So, Abby, we have been on a challenge, 30
yeah,
days of intermittent
yes.
fasting. How did this happen?
Let me tell you, you know, I remember, was it 2020? Yes, around 2020, you've heard me mention that I worked with my coach, and she
Mm,
had a group similar to the group that we have with the ladies.
mm,
And she used to talk of intermittent fasting. And I would tell my friend, I can never, ever do intermittent fasting.
wow.
So, and then, mindset, you remember, it's all about the
Yeah.
mind.
Yeah.
So when you did this challenge last year, I told myself, let me join. I remember I was among the first people to tell you I'm in this. And so I
Mm-hmm.
had struggled. I had, it was not easy, because it's the first time I'm challenging myself
Yeah.
to discipline how I eat, when I
Mm,
eat, and what I eat. So choosing not to eat, like, the way we are used to getting into the kitchen, what you find, you pick and go.
mm-hmm.
Now it's the time you're telling yourself, no, this is not eating time, this is fasting time. So
Mm-hmm.
that kind of set a pace. And so when we said we are doing a nutrition challenge, and then you said we are going the intermittent fasting way, I thought, lucky me, at least this is the second time I'm doing this. Of course, after you brought the challenge, I continued.
Mm,
I have done it once in a while here and there. But then
mm,
this one was more interesting, because now I had done it. But
mm,
along the way, you remember I told you I shared with the group that I was on medication. So I had
mm,
to break. And breaks, the mind loves such breaks. So when you break,
mm,
the mind doesn't want to continue. But I had to force myself to come back. And that's why I said, for me, I'm doing an extra, because I don't want to cheat. I want to complete. So I'm doing an extra. But it's been interesting. And I
mm.
just love the fact that you brought it, because I remember you saying, instead of telling us what to eat, like we are just adding into what we have, why don't we
Yeah.
first release what
Yeah.
we have?
Yeah.
And then after that, we can now start on a clean slate, where
Yeah.
we now eat, but then
Yeah.
we are feeding healthier bodies.
Yeah,
So it's been
absolutely.
interesting, and I really, really appreciate you for running the challenge, because you have just helped us so much. We've learned a lot. Personally, I have learned a lot. Thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure. Evelyn has put in the chat saying the challenge is really refreshing. I need to redo it.
Mm-hmm.
Why not? Go for it. As Abby has
Yeah,
said,
she can
guys,
join us.
absolutely. By the way, for those who are interested in knowing this, we are back on the challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Abby is
Yeah,
doing it, and I thought, you know what, Claire, we're just gonna tag along with Abby. Where
yes.
Abby is, you'll always find me. So we're like, 1st of May, another challenge,
Yeah.
31 days,
Mm-hmm.
here we come. And so, one thing
Yes.
I was just wondering about everything, if you're talking to somebody who has potentially maybe never done a fast before, and they've been a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
Margaret is saying, it was amazing, I learned a lot and I grew a lot.
Wow.
Maybe you have those
Mm-hmm.
people that are like, hell no, I am never, ever, ever going to fast in my life. As you were saying, like you're like me and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
intermittent
Mm-hmm.
fasting, we are nobodies,
Yeah.
no chance. And if they wanted
Mm-hmm.
to do this journey, which you have successfully done it over and over again, what do you think as a
Mm-hmm.
life coach will be a starting point? Just break it down a little bit for us into baby steps. I don't like complicated. Life is already complicated. Make it simple for us.
Yeah. I think, just like me, it's a matter of mindset. It's a
Mm,
matter of telling yourself, if I go by this mantra, if somebody else has done it, I think I can really do it.
mm,
And so, you see, intermittent fasting has different plans.
yeah.
You remember us sharing the 13-11, where you eat for, is it eat for 13 hours, fast for 11? There is
No, the other way
the
around. You fast for
it's
13, eat
you
for
eat
11. Eat
eat
for
for
11.
11. You see,
Yes.
now that's
Yeah.
the me who loves eating. So
Me too. I'm in the right company.
so uh, and then there is the popular one, the 16-8, where you fast
Mm,
for 16 hours and eat for 8 hours. And I remember, and there are several other plans. So I would encourage somebody, start with a beginner friend. I remember, I think it's Maggie, this lady, I don't know if it's the same Margaret here, who said at first, I don't know if that's the plan she continued with, that she was doing 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. And that would look like something small. But now her
mm.
sharing again that she lost a cool 5 kgs.
I
Goodness.
know. I
You
know.
know,
Oh.
as you say, it's just baby steps. And I was
Mm,
talking to one of us, and she was telling me, how do I really do this? And I was telling her, you see, think about think about it this way. For me, I
mm,
think about it as missing breakfast,
mm,
having lunch, and
mm,
having early dinner.
mm,
Because when I am busy, I miss breakfast sometimes, and it doesn't
mm.
affect me in any way. It's only that when you're fasting, you're conscious about it. That's when the brain begins to send all the enzymes and all everything comes to digest something. And
Yeah.
then again, it's patterns. You see, intermittent fasting is about breaking patterns.
Yeah.
You're breaking a pattern of waking up, and the first thing you get into the kitchen, you pick something and eat.
Mm,
So what happens is that, I know you would say this better, but from the knowledge I've gathered is that your body gets trained for that.
mm,
So
mm,
if you eat at 8 a.m., your body is ready to receive
mm,
food at 8 a.m. So it
mm,
will ready itself, and if you don't give it food, it will riot. Your body
mm,
will literally riot. You'll
mm,
start feeling the grumbling and all that. But then it's just telling yourself, if I can do this for 1 day, 2 days,
mm,
3 days,
mm,
then
mm.
I can finish this. And
Yeah.
so such a challenge, or giving yourself a personal challenge. And I think challenges for me have really helped, because once we did a 30-day challenge, once you
Mm,
get to 21,
yeah.
scientists tell us you have created a habit, it
Yeah.
becomes easier. If you
Yeah.
continue to 90, you have created a lifestyle. I know people who say they do it as a lifestyle.
Yeah.
I met a friend of mine who takes breakfast, takes lunch, and never takes dinner, or just takes a drink, something very light for dinner, and she's okay and she looks
Mm.
great.
Mm.
So just telling your mind, the more you tell your mind, and remember we've also talked of consistency, the more you do something, your brain is
Yeah.
convinced that we can do this, and
Yeah.
the moment you start, then you're good to go.
Yeah.
So for me, for this, for anyone struggling, I would just tell you, just start.
Yeah.
I was there. I could never do this, but now I enjoy it. So just start. The
Yeah.
moment you start, you can continue. But when you keep procrastinating, then you will never be able to start. And let me say this, Claire. I listened to somebody yesterday who said something that I really challenged me. That she said, any delay you make in your life, a
Mm.
10-minute delay when you snooze your alarm in the morning for 10 minutes, it's a 10-minute delay in your life. When
Wow.
you say, I will do this fasting, I can't do this time, I can
Yeah.
do it next month, you have
Yeah.
delayed your gain by 1 full month. So
Yeah.
the question to ask yourself is that what I really want?
Mm.
And finally, sorry, I'm saying too much.
That's okay.
Finally,
That's okay.
let me borrow from Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins says in his book, Awaken the Giant Within,
Mm.
that your life changes the moment you make a decision.
Mm.
And a
Wow.
decision is a commitment. Now, many people take too long to make a
Mm.
decision. And
Mm.
the longer you take to make this life defining decision,
Mm.
that's the longer you take to gain what you want to gain in life. So ask yourself,
Yeah.
do I want to, what am I, by postponing this, what am I postponing?
Yeah.
Do I
Yeah.
love what I'm postponing, or do I not love this? He also says that as human beings, we are driven
Mm.
by two things.
Mm.
It's either pain or pleasure.
Mm.
If you link fasting to pain, you will not
Mm.
fast.
Mm.
But if you link an unhealthy body to pain, then you will
Mm.
fast, because you will tell yourself, this it's painful to have a weak body, a sick body, an unhealthy
Mm.
body. But when you tell yourself, it's painful to miss this chapati, let me mention chapati because you know my story with mandazis and chapatis.
Wheat.
Yes, those sweet things. But let me tell you, I am breaking free and I'm so happy.
Yeah.
So when you connect those with pain, then you will
Mm.
start, you gradually begin to stop. So
Yeah.
in short, just begin, start somewhere, start with 2 hours, 3 hours, be within no time, you will do a lot more than you ever expected.
Awesome. I love what you said about decision making. And somebody once said,
Mm-hmm.
failure to make a decision is a decision as well. So if you're sitting on the fence and thinking, one day
Mm-hmm.
will come for me to make the decision, you're
Yeah.
actually still making a decision. And I'm just going to look at some of the charts, which you can
Mm-hmm.
keep them
Mm-hmm.
coming. So there's somebody who's saying, Irene says, have learned a lot from this challenge. It's all about the mindset. That's why we have the mind hacker
Yeah.
here in the house to hack our minds and tell
Yes.
us, guys,
Mm-hmm.
boys,
Mm-hmm.
you can make
Yeah.
it. And then somebody
Mm-hmm.
else says, Ma says he's an MSc Food Science and Technology student studying in the fourth semester. Nice to have you on board. Good to hear from
Wow.
you.
Mm-hmm.
There's somebody else who's saying, your brother, procrastination and
Yeah.
resilience has been a major calamity. Whew, I need a breather for that because yesterday I was actually talking to a colleague of mine
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and we were talking about resilience.
Mm-hmm.
And it
Mm-hmm.
makes me shake thinking about this because we
Yeah.
have become as a population in the world where we
Mm-hmm.
are not a resilient people. Like
Yes.
we are so, like you saying, oh, I can't first, is missing a food, and then we become like really very attached to things. And as a life coach, do you want to just touch a little bit on that resilience and talk a little bit about, take it wherever you want to go to? I don't really mind, because I
Mm-hmm.
feel like that's a really important topic to talk about, particularly when it comes to things like mind at the moment. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
somebody said, if you're not careful, we have another pandemic at the moment, and sadly, the
Mm-hmm.
pandemic is the mental health, because life has actually thrown so much towards that people have
Yeah.
just literally decided not to be resilient, or sometimes is a very rarely talked about word that it kind of becomes like a swear word in this generation. Do you want to talk a little bit about it? Take it to wherever you want to take it to.
Um, I think, many things happen in our lives.
Hmm.
But one of the things I have learned is that what happens to you, what happens to you is those things that you consider negative, you don't like them, and they happen to us. Sometimes we have no control. But did you know that at the end of the day, they really happen for us?
Mm,
However bad they can be, sometimes it's a sickness, sometimes it's, if I would tell you how I became a life coach, it was not because things were smooth. Something
mm,
happened. That's why I got connected to a life coach, and
mm,
I desired to do what she did, with me, because I felt like my life was a mess. But then this
mm,
person comes to me, talks to me, and after working with me for a year or so, my life changed for the better. And
mm.
so one of the things I have learned is that whatever happens to us makes us stronger. But
Yeah.
then we live, one day, a long time ago, while we were in campus, there's this lady who came to speak to us and said, we live in a pap generation. Here in Kenya, we will hear a pap, I don't know, whatever pap, food pap, everything pap. So
Mm,
kind of, we want things to happen very, very fast.
yeah. Yeah.
And when they
Yeah.
don't happen, we blame God, we are mad at God, we are not happy. But
Mm,
then when I look at it, when I look at my life and I look at things that have happened, some that I remember days I would look at them and tell God, God, I really didn't sign up for this. God, this is so unfair. This is so
mm,
bad. But
mm,
then sometimes when I look back, I think God might have just been smiling,
yeah.
looking at me and wondering, does this girl know the roadmap that I have for her life? And
Mm,
so it's important for us to know that we have to hold on. I am
yeah.
a believer that giving up is never an option, because
Mm,
most of the time when I thought of giving up, the question that would come to my mind was, give up and then what? What
yeah.
next? What,
Mm,
what would I do if I gave up on God? What would I do
mm,
without Him? I
mm,
don't think I would know how to live. And there are days I would really be mad and tell God, God, I'm done with you. And then my son or my daughter gets sick, and then I go, God, I'm really sorry. Please have mercy on my daughter. And then I'm like, okay, I thought you just said you gave up. So
yeah.
we we we, we gain strength. Sometimes it's not easy. I'm not saying
Mm,
it's easy,
mm,
but it helps to seek help if you have to
yeah.
talk to somebody if you have to, but
Yeah.
then remain strong, knowing that at the end of the day, at the there's this saying, there's light at the end of the tunnel. At the end of
Yeah.
the day, we will see light. So we can't just give up. We have to push on. And so even when it comes to these challenges, at times when you get to day 15, day 20, you're
Mm,
thinking, hey, they should have done 15 days. Why 30? And
yeah.
something in your mind says, was it really a right idea to do 30? But once you get to 30, you're so
Yeah.
proud of yourself that you really want even to go on. So we really have to be strong. We really have to encourage ourselves and know that at the end of the day, we will reap whatever we sow. You are the one who says we are planting seeds, for example, in our garden of health. So the question is, what seeds are you actually planting?
Yeah. And one of the things that for me encourages me as a Christian, I usually say, is that the Bible clearly says there is nothing new under the earth. So what you're going through, you're not the only one. It might look like you are the only one, but there is potentially somebody else that has gone through that. And that's why sometimes I love stories of hope. I can't lie to you. Like, when I read Maggie's story yesterday, I found so much hope, because I was like, I mean, how can this happen? But you can see what she's really done. And then I was like, coming and telling myself, Claire, you know what? I stood on the scale today and I realized, actually, rather than losing weight, I've gained weight. And I say to myself, you know what? I'm not going to feel discouraged because of this, because I know I've been doing a lot of running, etc. But also, I haven't been so well, despite the fact that I've stood up and I said, Claire, we're doing this to the end. And I was like, it might just be I'm putting more muscles and losing the water weight. So I shouldn't be like really discouraged and feeling that. But other people's stories of hope can keep you going in those difficult moments. A little bit on the chat. So there is somebody who said, Emily has said, a 10-minute snooze equals to a 10-minute delay in life. Just begin. Don't wait. Don't procrastinate. Just begin. And then somebody deep from saying, utter relationships, pop. We want pop relationships.
Actually, we can't talk about that today, but we need to talk about it someday, because the things I hear in relationships, goodness, especially with young people. But then that's a topic for another day.
So we will definitely come back on that. I want to address something with Mark, because he keeps on asking about he's doing MSc food. Then there's something he's asked about guide hospital in India, future job in India as a nutritionist. I been know with MSc in food science and technology. I may not necessarily know what's happening in India, because I am basically in the UK at the moment. I work as a food scientist, but I have a nutrition knowledge, nutrition background. So in my previous job, I did 70% nutrition and 30% food science, and currently it's the reverse. I'm doing 70% food science and 30% nutrition. So it depends really on the like in the local area where you are, because in the UK, for example, you can do a year long of masters if you wanted, as a master's degree, and then you go through the route of doing registration. Of course, you have to evidence. If you do a master's degree from an institution that is recognized and has been accredited, you graduate with the route of being a registered nutritionist. But associate registered nutritionist, and then you can work your way through after 3 years to become a registered nutritionist. Myself, I did slightly different, because obviously my background as well, and then I went into food science. I did a PhD of 4 years of food science, but because of the experience of doing quite a lot of things in nutrition, that meant when I did the registration to become a registered nutritionist, I needed to fill a portfolio, and that worked as evidence enough for me to be able to find the registration. So if you really want to kind of, in a way, find a little bit more, for me, what I will suggest, probably you might consider doing some short courses, which could be maybe a master's, a 1 year long master's in nutrition, or as well just looking at other adventures as well, because there's so much crossover between food and nutrition. You might not necessarily need to know a lot of, like, let's say, policies, but if you're not doing if you're not going into, let's say, public health nutrition, you might not necessarily need to know all the policies, and some things you might need to learn on the go. So if you want to know a little bit more about that, I'm more than happy if you chat it. Leave me some of your details of contact in the chat messages, I'll be able to pick that up and give you a little bit more advice and suggestions on how you can grow your career as a nutritionist. Even though you have done food science, how can you be able to get yourself from a food scientist into becoming a nutritionist? So leave me a chat or message. I will be more than willing to do that once we finish this live recording, to look back and give you some suggestions. Or as well, you can message me through things like LinkedIn. If you go on LinkedIn, just search for Claire D. Munialo. You can find my profile. Message me on LinkedIn. It's much more self-profile for me there, and I'll be more than happy to give you some suggestions. And if there's also anybody else who's watching today thinking like, I don't know, I've always wanted, Abby has changed professions, I've changed professions as well, and you're thinking maybe I've always wanted to be maybe a nutritionist or maybe a life coach. This is not something that you will say, well, it's the end, I cannot really start the journey. As long as you're willing to put in the work, you can easily make transitions, you can easily change careers, and you can change career paths. I usually say, particularly for your undergraduate, where you start, you're welcome, it's just a beginning. You can be able to diversify, you can be able to go further, and you can be able to go far depending on what you really want in life. So back to you, Abby. Sorry, I had to digress because I feel like this guy needed to hear that, and I'm more than happy to kind of carry on those conversations post this recording. So Abby, back to this 1 month that we have started today. What's the plan for this 1 month?
Today I went back to the gym.
That's how you're dressed, the way you're dressed.
Yeah, I decided today I'm not going to have dresses and all that. I'm going to be in this gear because it's the gear that makes me have energy in the morning.
Yeah.
And I just love energetic mornings. I really love mastering my energy in the morning, or rather throughout the day, because without energy, really, what can you achieve? And so now, unlike Maggie, who lost 5 kgs, you said you actually gained, oh my goodness,
1.7 kgs.
Allow me to just laugh at you kidogo, but then I was, I think I lost, I think I lost a few grams. I lose much?
We need to celebrate. You always talk me about we need to dance and celebrate the grams. I mean, if we don't celebrate the
I just lost a few grams. And yeah, because I remember in January I was about 75, and then I want to get to 70. My ideal weight is 68, but then when I get to 68, my mom is so mad at me, saying, "You look so thin. What is your husband doing to you? We need to talk to him." I don't want to put my husband in trouble, so let me just get to 70. But then what happens is that I see somebody else actually saying they only lost 1 kg.
Well done. It's better than nothing. Well done.
Yes. So it's actually an encouragement, because I think when they see us, post those sweaty selfies, they think we are going to lose 10 kgs. But I think for me, I have been good for a while. And then I have this part here that I don't know why people don't see. When I tell people I want to lose tummy area, some inches here, they say, where is the tummy? Some actually say you're insulting us. But then there is some muscle here, some love handles that I want to lose. So today I decided I went somewhere early in the morning, and then as I was coming back, I passed by the gym, and I saw the gym instructor standing outside. So I came, and I didn't have the right clothes. If I had them, I would actually just have gone to the gym. So I came back, and I thought, I was feeling sleepy. Yesterday I slept quite late. So I was torn between going back to bed for at least an hour or going to the gym. So I packed a little at the gate and asked myself, what exactly do I want to do? Then I remembered that 1 hour is an hour into my life. And I just got into the house, took my my gym gear, took my water, and off to the gym. And I'm so happy I did, because I want to start consistently. I feel I need some help,
Yeah.
because gym instructors will tell you
Yeah.
something that you don't
Yeah.
know. So
Yeah.
I feel like I need somebody to tell me maybe something that I don't know. But then
Yeah.
I want to continue with the 16-8 for me.
Yeah.
I want to take my breakfast earliest at 11, and
Yeah.
my dinner latest by 8. But I would actually do maybe 6, because I don't
Yeah.
want to do dinner late in the night. So
Yeah.
that's the plan I'm taking. And then once in a while, I will still run with my dog, because she loves running. So I
Uh,
love making her happy.
yeah.
What else am I planning to do? Yeah, that's exercising, intermittent fasting, a bit of running, and
Yeah.
just really checking on my diet. The intermittent fasting has really helped me break the pattern with wheat.
Yeah.
So the struggle is lesser now, that I can choose to do fewer mandazis, or those
Yeah.
mandazis. And then Claire, you should come. I should make you my mandazis.
I
Good.
will be on the
So it's
doorsteps
no,
very soon.
yeah. So but as much as I will make them, I will need to discipline myself. I saw
Yeah.
somebody actually say, yes, you are right, discipline is very important. And yes, it's
Yeah.
discipline. And for
Yeah.
me to decide to go to the gym today, it's actually, I remembered the thing we just talked about, the decision.
Mm.
I realized, or told myself, that the decision I make now will define
Mm.
the next. You see, every time you push forward one thing,
Yeah.
you're pushing
Yeah.
forward so many other things,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
then your mind is taken to a state of rest, or
Yeah.
relaxation. So
Mm.
you no longer, you keep telling yourself that, like the intermittent fasting, if all of us are honest, there are days you may have gone to a place, and then you
Mm.
find people are eating, and you tell yourself, I just need this break. But you don't know, that break becomes a 1 hour break, becomes a 1 week, a one
Yeah.
month, two
Yeah.
months.
Yeah.
So every decision that we make, so for me, that's a decision I'm making.
Yeah.
And I told you my birthday is in July, and I have a
Yeah.
target by my birthday I have to have cut this thing here. I have to have worked on it. So let's see what happens.
We're cheering you on. That's the dance to say, Abby, go, 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 go. We're watching you. Wow, amazing. I don't want
Yeah.
to really make
Mm-hmm.
this extra long because
Yes. Yes.
honestly, this is home. You're not away from home, and we will be seeing
Yeah.
you again soon. We know we haven't done
Mm-hmm.
this in a very long time because obviously things
Yeah.
have really been all over the place, but we will be coming back again. And just one thing that
Mm-hmm.
I just want to highlight again, if there's anybody that is on here and is thinking like, oh, well, Abby, how can I reach you? Because I really need some help. Because you are a mind hacker. You've hacked my mind before, and I can attest to the fact that you are set for this generation for such a time as this. So if there is
Mm-hmm.
anybody here thinking of like, how can we get to speak to Abby, or how can we get to have just a chat with you, a consultation maybe, to do work with you and things like that? Do you want to take a little bit, talk to us about how can we find you if we want to really get to work with you?
Claire, working with clients gives me so much joy, because when I see people move from what I'm saying, ordinary to extraordinary,
Mm,
it's just amazing. Yesterday, I was talking to one of my clients who said, Abby, I told her, congratulations, you look so happy. And she told me, Abby, I will give you this credit. And of course, I was quick to say, no, 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 giving the credit to God. But then
mm,
I'm really happy that working with her has really brought out so much light in her. When we started, I saw a different person. It has been
mm,
a 10-week journey. Hesitant time. I thought coaching is expensive. I thought I went for cheaper versions of coaching. They didn't help. But when I came to you, we have worked, and what I do, the programs I do are very systematic. They are very, it's a system really. So it's not something that I just wake up and think, what do I do with this person? And so I've seen it change people for the better. And of course, it's about you working on yourself. So if somebody would like to work on themselves, I am a product of working with a life coach, and really I would never regret. I wish I did it many years ago, because the person it brought out of me, it's somebody so different. Claire, I would never been on YouTube, my friend. How would I ever been here? But then the courage I've gathered. The other day, I was hosting an international call for all the coaches in the world, the ones that we work with, and somebody was asking me, Abby, is that really you? And I told her, yes, that is what transformation can do. And so, if you want to get the same or much more, depending on your journey, my email is info@coachblessedabby.com. You realize that's a different email from what I've been given, because I told you my website is being developed, new emails are being developed, a lot of change is happening. My YouTube channel is Abby's Coaching House, where we do more of talking and more of just sharing a lot of this. And then my phone number is +254 781 248 284. So that's WhatsApp. If you can reach out to any of those, I am more than willing to work with somebody who feels like their life is maybe stuck, or they don't like the results they are getting in life, and they want to just change their lives from their mindset, from everything else, and just experience joy. Claire, I can tell you, I used to be one of the saddest people. I used to fake smiles. You knew me as a very happy person, but I used to fake smiles. But then I have known how to be happy from within. When I am happy, I'm just happy. I've known how to express myself. I've known how to love myself. I've known how to love people for who they are, courtesy of this journey. And so why not try it? Why not give yourself a chance to live a happier life and a better life, and just enjoy doing life the way God intended us to be?
Awesome. So I will be posting all those details in the description later on, because I'm going to disappear into a meeting. I'm meeting one of my students in the next maybe 10, 15 minutes. It has been such a pleasure, Abby, having you today. It's been such a pleasure doing 30 days of intermittent fasting with you and the awesome ladies that have participated, some of who have been on this live stream tonight. We really appreciate, celebrate, and love you guys. And as I always say, it's my prayer that you will prosper, all of you, and be in good health, even as your souls prosper, because that's the mandate that God has given all of us. I know we shall be coming back again, and I'm looking forward again to coming to your channel, to being hosted there, because it's always a pleasure us getting to do live together. So if you haven't done that, why not just click that like button? It will really support what you're doing. And from me, it's goodbye. I hope to see you again very soon. And from Abby,
goodbye. And also visit Abby's Coaching House.
absolutely.
You may just learn one or two things, and subscribe if you haven't. And we appreciate your support and being here. And even for those who will watch later, God bless you. Enjoy life. Make your decision today to live a better life, because at the end of the day, you are the only person who can make your life what you want it to be.
Absolutely. Don't be a counterfeit. Don't be a photocopy. Be yourself. Don't try to be somebody else, because you're uniquely made, created for such a time as this. Go be the difference and make the difference where God has strategically placed you. Until next time, is goodbye and see you soon.
Bye bye. Thanks, Claire. God bless you too.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.